When you want to eat a hamburger, where do you go, Burger King or a local burger joint? Research shows that globally, McDonald's is the primary choice for hamburgers. The title of the best hamburger may be debatable, but McDonald's is undeniably the largest by a wide margin. It's so massive that it holds the title of the second most recognized brand in the world, right after Coca-Cola. Its famous yellow-red logo, shaped like an arch, is more widely recognized than even the sacred Hajj symbol. To grasp the scale more clearly, let me ask you a question. Since the opening of the first McDonald's restaurant in 1940, how many hamburgers do you think have been sold? Brace yourself, it's 300 billion, almost 40 times the current world population. This means McDonald's is a colossal chain serving 69 million customers per day. This figure surpasses the populations of Thailand and the United Kingdom. There's no other institution or organization globally that purchases more meat than McDonald's. This company is truly much larger than you might have imagined. So much so that a McDonald's restaurant opens every 14 hours worldwide, train stations, airports, office buildings, university campuses. They are everywhere. McDonald's can outfit 2 million people in the same uniform across over 42,000 branches. It is estimated that 1 out of every 8 employees in America has worked at McDonald's at some point in their lives, including Jeff Bezos. Yes, Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon and one of the world's 3 richest individuals, used to flip burgers at McDonald's when he was 17. This company even has a hamburger university that teaches how to cook a hamburger and fry potatoes. Now, which is the most famous hamburger? Let's see if you can find it in what's being described. But let me give you a few hints. It's such a popular product that it has appeared in movies and even has its own museum. Have you found it? This video may not be very appealing to vegetarians, but every day millions of people around the world choose a meal from McDonald's menus and devour hamburgers and fries. And most likely, everyone thinks that McDonald's is just a burger joint, naturally. What if I told you that McDonald's doesn't make its real money from hamburgers? How is that possible? Yes, it might surprise you, but McDonald's doesn't actually make the most money from hamburgers. Despite being known primarily as a fast food chain, McDonald's is, in fact, a major real estate company. Yes, you heard it right. McDonald's is essentially a real estate company. Almost all of its restaurants are owned by McDonald's itself, and the majority of McDonald's revenue comes not from hamburgers but from rents. So, when you buy a Happy Meal, you're not expanding McDonald's fast food chain but rather contributing to real estate development. The company's annual reports support this claim. You'll understand exactly what I mean with these reports in a moment. The company's revenue basket is divided into 3 main categories: the franchise system, real estate, and supply. McDonald's has created a system that other fast food giants have directly copied. First, they buy the location, then lease it to the person who wants to franchise it. They earn from both the rent and the brand rights, not to mention the increasing value of the purchased store over time. Moreover, everything in the store, down to the straw, is sold by McDonald's to the franchisee. There's nothing like McDonald's, truly nothing. McDonald's is the pioneer in its kind. Back then, it wasn't even a restaurant. It was a food stand opened in 1940 by the McDonald brothers, known as McDonald's Barbecue. McDonald's initially featured a variety of different dishes on its menu. 4 years later, the McDonald brothers streamlined their menu and implemented the fast service system to enhance their business. This system made them pioneers in the fast food industry. While continuing with the fast service system, the brothers' path crossed with a milkshake machine salesman. Ray Kroc, who visited McDonald's, saw the potential of the restaurant and proposed the franchise system. Franchises began to open in different locations like Des Plaines, Illinois. This branching out was the first step, and Kroc fully grasped the future of this business. In 1961, he purchased the company from the two brothers for $2.7 million, initiating the mission to make McDonald's a global brand. McDonald's rapidly grew and started spreading worldwide. Under Kroc's control, McDonald's accomplished such enormous scale that there was no trace left of the modest beginnings of the brothers or the brand. Under Ray Kroc's leadership, McDonald's achieved a historic milestone in 1968 by introducing the famous Big Mac hamburger to the menu. Big Mac has been the #1 burger at McDonald's for over 50 years. This burger is so famous that many people use a parameter called the Big Mac Index to compare purchasing power worldwide. Initially sold for less than 50 cents, Big Mac even has its own museum. Fortunately, McDonald's became so successful and stable from the 1970s onwards that it started excessive global expansion. The company diversified its menus daily, introducing dozens of new products like McNuggets. By the early 2000s, everyone knew about McDonald's. The company continues to grow by adapting to modern consumer demands. However, the real breakthrough doesn't come from burgers, larger-sized drinks, or desserts added later to the menu. This is where McDonald's exemplary real estate strategy comes into play on a global scale. With a value of $180 billion, McDonald's is the world's most valuable fast food chain. For comparison, Starbucks has a value of $8 billion, and Burger King has a value of $23 billion. The company owns approximately $60 billion worth of real estate worldwide. The true assets for McDonald's are these properties. The company is among the top 5 largest property owners globally, with properties in the most expensive and luxurious locations worldwide, from Times Square in New York to Red Square in Moscow. So, how does this strategy work? The majority of McDonald's revenue, from the nearly 2 million people working worldwide, is based on the franchise business model. The real turnover comes from this model. McDonald's purchases the properties where the restaurants are located and leases these properties to franchise owners. While a franchise candidate pays millions of dollars to operate the restaurant, McDonald's controls the land and generates regular income from it. This system has turned McDonald's into more than a giant fast food chain. It has transformed it into a global real estate company. Let's get into details. Now, in the franchise system, the company licenses its brand, business model, and menu to operators. Operators, for a specific fee, get the right to operate a McDonald's restaurant. However, this system is somewhat complicated. Firstly, becoming a store operator and joining this family is not that easy because they have an image to uphold. Once the conditions at this stage are met, someone, potentially someone like you, decides to open a McDonald's branch in a city or neighborhood and applies for a franchise. In some cases, the franchise application is not expected to wait for the location exploration. While McDonald's started with making hamburgers, its focus is now on real estate. After all, even if the Big Mac is cheap, the rent at Times Square is not. The income from hamburger sales has turned into real estate investments, and McDonald's, being highly experienced in this regard, has mastered the art of finding perfect locations. The company typically locates four-way intersections with heavy traffic outside of shopping malls. It also pays extra attention to whether there are traffic lights at these intersections. It determines the most suitable corner at the intersection, purchases the land, and then constructs a generally single-story building with ample parking space or directly acquires an existing building with spacious parking. When making these purchases, the company uses a tactic employed by all major companies worldwide, opting for long-term, fixed-interest rate loans. Now, let's move on to the opening of the branch. When someone applies to operate their McDonald's branch, the company comes to the table with a contract. This contract is a franchise agreement that encompasses almost every detail, from how hamburgers are made to how staff is selected. You might say this is quite normal. Every major brand has such agreements when purchasing operating rights. However, if you're sitting at the table with McDonald's, things work a bit differently. Because McDonald's determines the location where you will open the branch, and generally, as I explained earlier, that designated place is McDonald's own property. So, you are not just a McDonald's operator but also a tenant. If you want to open a McDonald's branch, it will cost you quite a bit. Just saying that a fee between $450,000 and $900,000 is demanded for a single location should be sufficient, I suppose. A McDonald's branch operator starts the business by receiving a considerably high fee, depending on the type and size of the restaurant. For some locations, this can go up to $2 million. A contract is made for 10 to 20 years, which has an additional $4,000 fee. Every month, the operator transfers a certain percentage of royalties and licensing fees, advertising contributions, and research and development fees to the company. The most crucial condition of the contract is that the restaurant is located at the specified address. In the research conducted, it was observed that operators always pay above market rent. While some may find this ruthless, McDonald's views this extra rent situation as a value attributed to skillful location scouting. If the location does not perform as expected, McDonald's either takes over the location or transfers it to another new operator after the contract period. If it still doesn't work out, the land is sold to someone else with a significant profit. Despite this high cost, around 90% of all McDonald's branches worldwide operate with the franchise system. Now, the question that comes to mind is, why do franchise owners accept these strict rules and the significant financial burden? Because people always take the familiar and known as a safe haven. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. According to many investors, McDonald's ability to find good locations makes the franchise investment more secure. Yes, you are both an operator and a tenant, but your restaurant is in a fantastic location, and business is turning in a nice market. Although there are significant initial expenses for the operator, it's a high-chance option for success. After all, globally, approximately 60% of restaurants go out of business within the first year, and 180% within 5 years. Investing in a new restaurant is a risky venture. Therefore, working with a known brand makes the most sense. That's why many entrepreneurs prefer to invest in McDonald's, following the logic of don't deny a bird in the hand and a familiar face is always better. It has been observed that an average McDonald's restaurant generates sales of approximately $2.7 million per year. When staff salaries, materials, and the cost of other expenses are deducted, a franchise owner makes an annual profit of around $150,000. However, a $150,000 profit on a $2.7 million turnover is not even 6%. But, as I said, the risk is proportionally low with the profit margin. You might say, no, this is too little, but someone doesn't. In fact, when only 7% of McDonald's worldwide is owned by the company, the remaining restaurants, as I mentioned earlier, are run with the franchise system. Now, we've looked at it from the operator's perspective, let's turn to McDonald's side. This franchise system is quite lucrative for the golden-arched McDonald's, unlike the operators. When we look at the company's balance sheet for any given year, we can see the picture clearly. For example, in 2014, the company generated revenue of over $27 billion. Looking at the distribution of this revenue, while $9.2 billion was earned directly through franchises, $18.2 billion was earned in company-owned locations. Similarly, when we look at the company's income statement for 2019, 64% of total revenue came from rent. The recent increase in property prices has made the company more valuable and ensured the steady rise of its share values. And one more point, the human stomach. It does not respond to crises. McDonald's addresses humanity's basic need, which is nutrition. It's an endless sector. Even in an economic crisis or a pandemic, people continue to consume fast food and eat hamburgers. Thus, McDonald's is not much affected by a crisis. It even benefits from it. During crises, major sectors decline significantly, and usually, the real estate market collapses. So, McDonald's thrives in such times. Because McDonald's will already buy the properties it owns at a cheaper price and add more with the remaining resources. McDonald's is very careful in choosing the locations it owns. From the busiest squares in Istanbul to the most beautiful corners of Paris, it owns properties everywhere. The beautiful side of this is that these properties gain value over time. Because McDonald's is a considerable brand, if McDonald's opens somewhere, that area will become richer, new shops will open, and rents and prices will increase. Think of it as Starbucks Frappuccino effect. Şimdi size en basta UC gelir kaynayıcından bahsetmiştim, değil mi? İlk ikisi franchise üzerinden gelen gelir ve kira. Digiri ise top 10 silik. McDonald's'ın sahip olduğu en büyük iz ve gelir kaynaklarından birisi de tedarikçilik. Diyelim ki siz bir McDonald's işletmecisiniz, bu durumda hamburgerin dışına serilen kaçıdan tutun pesatay kadar her şeyi McDonald's'tan almak zorundasınız. Başka bir yerden ekmek, patates alamazsınız, daha ucuz veya daha lezzetli olması önemli değil, alamazsınız. Sağlıkmanın en iyi kadar ayrıntılı olduğunu söylemiştim. Pipetin tutun de pesatay kadar her şeyinizi, İşletmesi ve aynı zamanda karasisi aldığınız McDonald's'tan almak zorundasınız. Hem dükkanınız isim sahibi, hem dükkanınız mülk sahibi, hem de ürünlerinizin tedarikçisi. İşte bu sayede McDonald's büyük bir güçtür, 42.000 sub ve günlük 69 milyon müşteriden bahsediyoruz. Peki, bu biz ne ifade ediyor? McDonald's isen bir siler üreten begimsiz bir firmami, yoksa McDonald's'tan daha fazla sigir eti satın alan bir başka kurum veya kuruluş mu var? Peki etin, ekmecin, patatesin, isiscin, ambalajin üreticileri rastgelmi sesilir? Burada su strateji devre giriyor, McDonald's genelde kendi sabellerinde satılan ürünleri üreten firmaların hissedari oluyor. Örneğin, Coca-Cola ilanlaşma yapıyor ve bu sırada Coca-Cola hissesi satın alıyor. Cola satıka kendi isinden para kazanmanın yanında Coca-Cola'nın değer kazanmasından de para kazanıyor. Yani birden fazla gelir ikisi. İşte böyle bir strateji ve kaliteli bir vizyonla nereler gelebilir, değil mi? McDonald's iletin ve iktisat bağlamlarında ders nitelici taşıyacak bir modeli sahip, aynı zamanda inovatif ve kaliteli. Hatta oil ki birçok ülkede yemek teslimi yapan ilk ulusum McDonald's'ta. Arabaya teslamat ve kioskla siparis vermeye falan sayıyorum, ama benim isimden en ilginci yurtdasında bir subasind yemek yerken odanan bir robot kalisaniyle karşılaşmamıştı. Her eniyorlarsa olsun, işlerini fi yapıyorlar. Zaten fi yapmasalardı, bu kadar bayuyup bunka yalayakta kalamazlardı. 2017 Futta McDonald's Dünya Kapında Faaliyet Gösterdiği 120 ülkede bir analize ortaya çıkardı ve bilan bakalım McDonald's'ın en hızlı bayuduğu ülke hangisi oldu? Cevap, Türkiye. Anlaşılan bu markayı ülkemiz seviyor. Velhasıl kelam, McDonald's'ın artık bir hamburgersadan ibaret olmadığını biliyorsunuz. Bir sonraki içerikte bunu düşünün. Belki bazılarınız Big Mac'ini bitirdikten sonra sıradaki McDonald's'ı bulmakya da kırmak için hareket geçer. Kim bilir, hamburgersi olani değil, asıl McDonald's'ı kastediyorum. Hepinize afiyet olsun.